Welcome to What to Do When, a podcast from real lawyers with real perspective, where we explore a variety of legal issues and scenarios. Each week, we focus on a new topic and discuss what to do when and if any of these legal scenarios ever happen to you or a loved one. With over 40 years of combined legal experience, our hosts offer their unique perspectives and insights on a range of real-life legal situations.
Welcome back to another podcast here at Critzer Cardani in Richmond, Virginia. I'm Jackie.
I'm Scott. Jackie, what's on the docket for today?
Today, how to do blended families in the holidays.
You mean like getting families in a blender?
Yeah, just like that. Like in Gremlins, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like Gremlin in the blender, wound up. No, really, it's about, exactly that, blended family that is also incorporating maybe some new kiddos into it. So I say a husband and wife, just like in my situation, I had 2 kids, he had 2 kids, and we then had our first holiday after being married, right? And they were all middle school, and isn't that fun when you have 4 middle schoolers all in the same place? Really, here are some of the things that we found could potentially be problematic. It wasn't in our families, but these are some of the roadblocks you're going to hit. When you have 2 sets of kids coming from 2 separate parenting schedules and holiday schedules, you're in a great amount of blessing and luck if those holiday schedules already match. Okay?
Yeah.
If they don't, look down the road. Don't wait till Christmas Eve. Don't wait till the middle of November for Thanksgiving. Look down the road when you know this is coming and see which side's going to compromise. Maybe it's your side. Maybe it's the new parent side. Whichever it's going to be, do your best to avoid the conflicts that are already going to be coming and getting greater as the holidays approach. So find a way to make those schedules match. You want the kids, we wanted all of our kids to be together. We wanted to spend Christmas Eve together, wake up Christmas morning together. And then in the years when we were very, very sad and our kids were away from us and we waited till the middle of Christmas Day for them to come home, we dealt with it. But we knew, they knew, it was predictable. And I'll tell you a funny story. Everybody knows now I have 2 older teenagers that are mine and 2 older teenagers that are my husband's and which are also mine. And then we have a 2.5-year-old. So after, years and years of doing Christmas time the way that we were, which was we alternated Christmas Eve overnight. And it worked as well as it could. Still, I was sad when they left Christmas Day. I was sad when they weren't there Christmas morning. Not sad like weepy, just you missed that, okay?
Yeah.
So I said, well, maybe we should do this different. So I asked them, how do you guys like that? You think maybe you'd want to do it differently? I'm thinking for sure they're going to tell me they want to do it differently. No, we love it. We love it. This is great. Okay, enough said. I dropped it. I never brought it up again because it's not about me. When we severed that marriage and we became divorced, those kids were the ones who we needed to prioritize as far as their mental health, their emotional health, not what I want. Not what is best for me necessarily, but what's really going to do best for them. They loved it. We left it. We're still doing it the exact same way, and they're 17 and almost 19.
Well, and remember this, too. The other issue that you run into is, in my family, we're blended, too, but, maybe there's a grandmother that's your kid's grandmother, but not my kid's grandmother, and maybe that grandmother isn't that accepting of the blend. It happens. So there's traditions that happen, like every year, this daughter went to see grandma on certain days.
Yeah.
So you got to my only point in that is you got to be flexible. You got to think through those things. Like she said, be proactive. If you don't, maybe this is the first holiday you're coming together as a new family. Hey, what are some traditions your kids did? Because sometimes guys, especially, don't really think that way. So it'll help processing that longer term. Hey, Jamie went to her grandmother's every Christmas night and spent the night.
Right.
She's done that for, 5 years. It's a big deal to Jamie.
Sure it is.
So, you got to just make those things, try to work them out. I remember the first blended holiday we had, 3 of my kids weren't there. They were at their other grandma's. And I was like, at first I was kind of like, oh, that sucks. But then I was like, you know what? That's what they did every year. Why would they change that?
That's what they did.
That's what they did. That was their holiday. That was the way they celebrated Christmas. So you got to, when you're blending a family, you got to take in all the different elements of that. And, grandparent visitation and maybe aunts and uncles, everybody does it differently. When I was growing up, we had every Christmas Eve, my mom had 8 brothers and sisters, and I think there was somewhere in the 90s of grandkids. So, obviously that grew over years, but, when we were little, we all went to grandma's house on Christmas Eve, and I would have hated not to go there. It was so much fun. We just had a blast. So, maybe you get blended and, they're going to their grandma's, and you just got to kind of make that work a little bit. And sometimes it takes a little effort to make that work, but I wouldn't hate to rob a kid of a tradition that they love and, makes them celebrate the season. And that's how they've always celebrated all of a sudden. And as Jackie said, you always stay open. Hey, is there anything else we can do different next year? Is there anything you want to change? Sometimes that kid may say, I hate going to grandma's. Thank God I'm out of that. Whatever.
At the end of the day, we're going to leave our kids with baggage. We just hope it's a carry-on, not like a, check bag, right? We just want just a little bit.
Backpack.
Maybe even just a backpack or whatever it is. There are some pitfalls when it comes to the holidays and blended families and even just separated families. But think about gifts and whether, I don't know about you, but our kids typically gave the same list to both sets of parents. So, and I didn't tell them not to do that. That's putting a burden on them. That's not fair. So I went around and said, hey, Dad, can we talk about the list? What are you planning? I was thinking I was going to do this. This isn't about permission. Don't get wrapped up into,
Exactly.
Can't I? Oh, I told them I was going to buy this, but they went and bought it and it was going to be their Christmas morning and they got to open it at their house. I'll tell you what, we've encountered this exact situation when the parents didn't talk and the same present was under both Christmas trees.
Gosh.
And it was a big one, all right? And then both parents were upset because they wanted the kid to be excited about this one. The other parent wanted to be excited. Let me tell you something. The kid was excited that they got 2. And one was at Dad's house and one was at Mom's house. And that worked out great. Now, you would think you would want to budget the Christmas gifts differently. What does it matter? At the end of the day, the kid was happy. So just keep those things. Stay away from some of those pitfalls too.
Yeah, I think control can be a really pitfall that we don't even realize we're controlling when we're controlling. And the other side can be controlling too. And so I'm not saying be controlled. I'm not saying that. But again, pick the hill you're going to die on, as the old saying goes. Sometimes it's not worth the fight. Why? If the other parent's set on getting him the bike and you wanted to get it, think of a way to maybe get an accessory for the bike or something cool.
For sure.
Or something. You can do all kinds of things that are really creative and cool that really match the energy, so to speak, and your kids are just as happy. I'll tell you what, a year from Christmas, they don't remember who bought them that bike.
Well, and then you've got blended. It's not just holidays, but you've got not just Thanksgiving and Christmas. There's certainly other holidays. There's Hanukkah. There's so many different holidays. Still, the point is to be considerate, and especially if you're a parent who doesn't particularly celebrate Thanksgiving or doesn't particularly celebrate Christmas. Don't be Aunt Hagatha and try to take the time from the other parent just to be spiteful. Let that kid still enjoy the time, even though that new family is blended and there's more traditions and there's new stuff going on over there. We would just really encourage you to take the time as a blended family to try and map out what you want the holidays to look like and see what makes sense for your family without waiting to the last minute to do it. These are not last minute conversations or plans you want to be having.
Because then they become dictations and then it's just a fight. So thank you all for joining.
We hope you've enjoyed this episode of What to Do When. For more episodes, be sure to subscribe to our podcast, and we encourage you to check our archives to listen to previous topics. Tune in next week for a new episode and some fresh perspective from Critzer Cardani.